Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a bridal tutorial. It's wedding season and I thought, how perfect would it be to do a bridal tutorial right now? I did a bridal tutorial, I think, as one of my very first few videos here on YouTube, and I haven't done one since, so it's about time. And I saw Desi do one a couple weeks ago, and it just reminded me how many times I've said, I wish I could do my hair over, I wish I could do my makeup over, and my dress. I got married right when I turned 19, so I was just kind of clueless about being a bride, and I was clueless about my makeup, and I let someone else do my hair, so my hair was and my makeup was a mess, and I would just do something like this, like super soft, and I would just leave my hair down, do something soft like this as well, and just want to look really feminine and kind of timeless and just really girly. And a lot of the bridal tutorials that I see have a lot of warm tones, a lot of warm browns and golds, and I just want to kind of go on the opposite side of the spectrum because this is literally what I would wear if I was doing it over again. I would do mauves on the eyes, a soft pale pink lip, and just super glowy, healthy looking skin. So keep in mind, this doesn't have to just be for a bride. You could wear this if you are a bridesmaid, if you're in a wedding, or just attending a wedding, or you just want to do something nice and soft and feminine for your makeup. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, then just go ahead and keep on watching. We are jumping right into the base, and I've already done my whole skincare routine, and I've also primed my skin with the Makeup Forever Equalizer Primer. And now I'm just using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation, and I mix in a pump of the Gerard Cosmetics BB Plus Illuminator. Like I said, I really want my skin to be the main focus for this look. I just want to look really fresh and glowing and healthy. And that does it. It makes your skin look super luminous and healthy without looking glittery. So I love mixing that in with my foundations. And Ultra HD is perfect when you have tons of photos. It has no SPF, so it is amazing. It has really good coverage as well. So now I'm just going to go ahead and prime my lids. I'm using the Shape Tape Concealer from Tarte. This is seriously what I use pretty much all the time as far as a base for my eyeshadows. Everything stays in place all day and it just looks seamless. So I love using this concealer for my lids. Then I'm just going to go ahead and set that in place with any kind of flesh tone shadow that you have. Now I'm going into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm taking Buon Fresco. This is just my favorite dusty rosy mauve to use in the crease. I use this all the time, and I'm just using a big fluffy brush, and you really want to take your time with this. Really blend this out. You want everything to look super soft, so just take your time, do windshield wiper motions. I am taking this one all the way from outer corner to inner corner just because it's the lightest one, but all of the other shades we're going to stick mostly towards the outer edge. And I wanted to add just a little bit of warmth, so I'm going in with the shade Crush. This is from the Violet Voss Matte About You palette. I have not been able to put this thing down. This is such a perfect kind of just staple palette to have. I love it. So I'm just taking that on the outer third of the eye, really concentrating it there. Then I'm just taking whatever I have left on my brush and sweeping that into the crease so it's nice and blended. But you do want to keep these darker colors towards that outer edge. Now I'm just taking that same smaller brush from Morphe. I'll have all of the brushes listed below. And this one is the shade Adorbs. This one is a darker, kind of cooler toned mauve. And I'm really trying to concentrate this mostly on that outer corner. I just want to keep the inner corner of the eye nice and bright so our eyes look really bright and open and awake. Now I'm just going back in with that first brush that we applied Buon Fresco with and blending out those edges before I go in with the lid shade. For the lid, I wanted something super neutral. I didn't want anything too pink or too gold, so I am mixing these two shades from the Modern Renaissance palette. They're Primavera and Vermeer, and mixing the two of them I think is just perfect. And this just looks like a beautiful sheen on the lid. It doesn't have a ton of glitter in it. I wouldn't do glitter for a wedding on myself. I just want something that has a nice sheen that's going to really open up the eyes and bring attention to them without being too flashy. And for liner, I am not opting for a wing. If you want to rock a wing, go for it. And I am just using black shadow. This is from that same Matte About You palette. I'm using a little angled brush and just trying to get this as close into those lashes as possible. I want it to look soft, but to give a little bit of definition to that lash line.
Are you ready? Now I'm just applying some mascara to my natural lashes. If I were doing this for my wedding, I would use waterproof, but I didn't have any waterproof, so I'm just using this one, and then I'm going to be applying Lilly lashes in the style Miami. I love these lashes because they give you enough volume and they are super fluttery, but you can still see through them. They're not too dramatic, so I love these. And then I'm just going back in with that black shadow and kind of going right over the band so everything just blends really nicely. You guys know I have to cover up those dark circles on a wedding day, so I'm using my tried and true Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. And you can see I'm just kind of trying to use a very thin layer of this, just concentrating it mostly where I have the darkest part of my circles. And I'm also using a lighter hand with my Tarte Shape Tape. This still may look like a lot to some people, but to me, I'm lightening it up, okay? And I'm using light medium. I wanted to use something that is going to still brighten up my under eyes and bring attention to the center of my face without looking too harsh. You don't want to have something crazy highlighted because it's just not going to look as natural. You want to look like your natural self, just a little bit more glam. So I'm just blending that in with my Real Techniques sponge, and then I'm going to be setting my under eyes with the Petal powder from Kat Von D. I have been loving this, and I'm going to be applying it with a brush. I'm not going to do a baking with my sponge like I usually do because sometimes that can just look really heavy, and I'm trying to really be minimal with what I'm applying to my under eyes so it's not going to crease as much. So I love this. It's super lightweight. It does still brighten, but it doesn't make my under eyes look dry. It almost makes them look a little bit brighter. So I have been obsessed with this powder. And then for the rest of my face, I'm using the Tarte Confidence powder. I love this powder so much because it sets everything in place, you can see, but it's not going to take away that beautiful luminosity that we have from mixing in that BB Plus in our foundation. It just is so light, but makes your skin look airbrushed. This is hands down my favorite powder. It's time to give the skin some life, so I'm going in with a Sunlit bronzer from Becca. These have quickly become my favorite bronzers lately. They just make your skin look so beautiful and warm without looking like chunky and glittery. It's just perfect. So I'm just going around the outer perimeter of my face and of course dragging that down my neck. And then I'm going to contour just slightly. I don't want to do anything too harsh, so I'm using the Tarte Contour Palette and I'm using this Tarte Contour brush as well and just really softly doing a very light contour along my cheekbones. I also add just a little bit on the sides of my chin and then a very, very soft nose contour. I don't want to do anything too harsh or dramatic here. And then I'm using one of my favorite blushes of all time. This is Seduce by Tarte. It is such a beautiful, like soft, muted mauve. I think it goes with everything. And then I'm also going to be using more of a pink toned highlighter. This is Rose Quartz from Jouer. Their highlights are so beautiful. They're so soft and they just look amazing. So I'm applying that on the tops of my cheekbones, also kind of bringing that around my eye and then on top of my brow, right above the arch, and then I'm also applying it to the tip of my nose, my cupid's bow, and then a tiny bit to my chin. Look at that glow. These highlights are beautiful. And then of course I always go in after I do all of my face products with a little bit of Slay All Day from Gerard Cosmetics. It is my absolute favorite. And then I'm going to finish up the eyes. I'm just taking a nude liner. This one is from MAC. And then I'm going to be taking Adorbs again and a little pencil brush, running this all the way along that lower lash line. And I just wanted to have something really, really soft. I didn't want to have like a blown out lower lash line, but I also didn't want it to be bare. So I just added a little bit of that and then a few coats of mascara to those lower lashes. And I'm applying a little bit of that Rose Quartz to the inner corners as well. And then it's on to a nice pinky nude lip. I'm using my Jordana lip liner in Rockin Rose. It's seriously my favorite. I've gone through so many of these. And then I'm using Meringue lipstick from Bite. It's a really beautiful pinky nude and it just feels great on the lips. You want to make sure that you're using something that's going to be very comfortable. And then finishing it off with Shimmer of Hope, my all-time favorite gloss for literally years. And then, of course, I am finishing off with one more spritz of Slay All Day to make sure everything stays in place. And then I'm taking a little bit more of that BB Plus and applying it to the collarbone, just so, you know, that close too. And once you get that on, your look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!